welcome to this week's edition of the Majin News, the place where you can get a quick overview of the goings-on in the world of Dragon Ball from around the world. Without further ado, here are the biggest news announcements from the previous week. The creator of the Dragon Ball franchise, Akira Toriyama, has been formally honoured by the French government. Mr. Toriyama, on May the 30th, received one of the country's most prestigious honours in the field of the cultures and the arts for his over 35 years of work on various projects in relation to manga and comic books in Japan, such as Dr. Slump, Pink, and of course, the likes of the adventures of Son Goku. Le Chevalier de l'Ordre des Arts et des Lettres, or the Knight of the Order of the Arts and Letters, was awarded to the author, but Mr. Toriyama was not present at the ceremony, which was conducted last week. His publisher, Akira Toriyama, was present in Paris to accept the award in his honour. The award is given out to around 200 people per year for their contribution to French arts and culture, which includes popular culture. France and Japan share a very close relationship in relation to anime and manga, and therefore Dragon Ball has a very strong spot in the hearts of the French. The award is also one of three, with the Chevalier category being the lowest and Commandeur being the highest award, given out to only 20 people per year. Even though Mr. Toriyama was not in attendance, his publisher did provide some insight into the gratefulness of their boss. Mr. Toriyama is always very grateful to his French fans, who began to appreciate his works early in his career. Unfortunately, Mr. Toriyama almost never attends ceremonies, and I have the honour of receiving this award in his place. He instructed me to tell you how honoured he is to receive this award from your country. This is prior to the potential inclusion into the Eisner Hall of Fame for Mr. Toriyama, which is due to be decided at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. Following the revelation that the publisher and rights holder to Dragon Ball, Shueisha, would have had to pay over $45 million to guarantee vetoing rights to the box office failure Dragon Ball Evolution, the famous editor of Akira Toriyama, Kazuhiko Torishima, went on to voice his overall thoughts on the movie itself. In the same interview as mentioned in the previous Majin News, Mr. Torishima declared that the movie, without hesitation, as the biggest failure in regards to screen adaptation. This was when Mr. Torishima was asked about his opinions of adapting comics, manga or anime into a live screen version, and the Dragon Ball Evolution movie was the first to come to mind for the editor. This revelation is a very surprising and telling one, as most Japanese businessmen tend to not directly call out specific peoples or products that were failures, and with a comment such as this, Mr. Torishima has condemned the actions of 20th Century Fox, who despite the issues surrounding the movie, still maintain distribution rights for all Dragon Ball movies outside of Japan. The Latin American voice for Son Goku, Mario Castañeda, has spoken out about his thoughts on the different voice casts for the Argentinian adaptation of the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly. With the Latin American market often using the version recorded in Mexico, it was revealed back in April of this year that Argentina will be recording their own version of the movie with their own dub, without the original Latin American cast in a bold move. The dub itself has been recorded in neutral Spanish, which makes the movie even more confusing. Mr. Castañeda went on the record regarding his thoughts, stating that he wasn't sure why the decision to do the standalone dub was made, nor the specific demographic. I think it would be risky to try and change the voices of a product so placed, so positioned with so many fans in Latin America. They already had some problem not having the original voices in these 99 episodes of Kai. Sales fell, DVDs were not sold physically. Then to think about changing it for change's sake would be something risky, that maybe it would not be good business to do so. Mr. Castañeda also went on to say that this new cast will not be replacing the original cast for future editions of Dragon Ball, game or otherwise. The Goku actor went on to support his own country's dub of the series with rather colourful language. A link to the original interview can be found in the paste link show notes in the description. Dragon Ball Super Broly has been formally released in the Chinese market, with a strong first week performance in its box office. The movie, which has already garnered over $110 million worldwide in the 5 months since its release in Japan, back in December, has received over $4 million alone in its first week of release in mainland China. With China's addition to the foreign tally of the movie's takings, the movie has now blown away past expectations, and its original budget of $8.5 million, over 40% higher than the previous movie's budget, that being Resurrection F back in 2015. 28 countries have formally introduced Dragon Ball Super Broly to their cinemas, with many other countries hoping to receive their own version of the title in the coming months. Might we see the movie break $150 million before the year is out? Note, this is not counting DVD and Blu-ray sales, which will surely elevate the performance of the title even further. And finally, Entertainment Earth has listed a brand new figure of the infamous character from the original Dragon Ball series, King Piccolo. The item will be available in January 2020, but it has already sold out in terms of pre-orders as of June 3rd, 2019. A link to the item can be found in the show notes, as well as going to Entertainment Earth's own website. The figure, produced by SH Figure Arts, also comes with a special item, as do their other figures for other characters. With King Piccolo, though, you get a key ball as well as a replica of the electric rice cooker that the demon was imprisoned for centuries, seal and all. This comedic addition will make for any collector's interest. The figure is due out in 6 months' time. That is all from today's Majin News. If you have any news concerning Dragon Ball that may be of interest to us, use the hashtag Majin News and we shall credit you and fact check the information. Thank you. And until next week, it's goodbye from us.